And that big step is the decision taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the Indus Water Treaty of 1960 that will be held in abeyance until Pakistan abjures its support for cross-border terrorism. It's a big decision. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri in a press conference had informed of this decision. Let me take you through the details of it. The Indus Water Treaty was signed in Karachi in 1960s after 7 months of intense negotiation. According to the treaty, all waters of eastern rivers of the Indus system, Satluj, Beas, Ravi, will be available for us, unrestricted use, which is India, Bharat. Pakistan gets water from western rivers, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Now let us look at the impact of Indus Water Treaty suspension on Pakistan. The Indus Basin is critical to Pakistan's economy. Pakistan relies on Indus, Jhelum and Chenab for approximately 80% of its irrigated agriculture. The water contributes 21% to its GDP and supports 45% of its workforce. The suspension could halt the flow of 39 billion cubic meters of water. The disruption will impact trade, employment and food prices in Pakistan. Now the question is how the suspension helps India. Delhi can immediately stop sharing water flow data with Pakistan. No data. India can now create storage on the western rivers. India can stop visits by Pakistani officials to hydroelectric projects being built in J&K. And when I say water data, if you don't give them water data, you can't plan your agriculture. There may be no immediate impact in context of flow of water to Pakistan, but the decision itself is very, very important. Between May and September, as snow melts, the Indus, Jhelum and Chenab carry billions of cubic meters of water. India has upstream infrastructure on those rivers, but it is not designed to hold packed big volume. So that is an area where we need to think. So what will Pakistan do on IWT? Pakistan may seek intervention from UN or World Bank to challenge India's suspension. However, given India's strategic influence and the treaty's provisions, these may fall flat. And on this, I am joined by Pradeep Kumar Saxena, former Indian Commissioner for Indus Waters. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Please explain the importance of the decision taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi when it was announced to people that the treaty would be held in abeyance.
Yeah, this decision is, in my opinion, this is the second independence after 1947. Particularly when I look at the treaty, as a commissioner, I also worked for implementation of the treaty. I find this treaty was heavily biased against us for some reason. Let it be political thing, but the treaty was heavily biased against us. Now we are free from shackles, and it means a lot for me, and I'm really grateful for my government. The thing is that it is going to help us in many ways. More than that, it is going to hurt Pakistan, because ultimately this is a river sharing arrangement. So whatever benefits one party will definitely at the cost of other party. So this is one thing. And this how it is going to help, there are number of parameters on which it can really help. First thing is, which I perceive, is it will bring focus on terrorism, which actually no one thought of. Now, when the Pakistan makes lot of hue and cry, at least terrorism will come on the table, because ultimately we also have to give our counterpoint. Having said that, there are technical points that are going to benefit us. For example, under the treaty, we cannot build dam, and even if we build dam, we can irrigate in the basin in which the dam is built. We have a Barsar Dam in Chenab. It's a big dam. We plan to, it was within our storage rights. But the thing is that we don't have that much area in Chenab. But the treaty says you cannot irrigate any area other than Chenab Basin. So ultimately that dam was futile. So if this provision is gone, we will be able to construct Barsar Dam, and we will be able to irrigate a lot of area in other than Chenab Basin, which can be Punjab, which can be Himachal, which can be anywhere else. So these kind of restrictions are gone, and Barsar Dam has a capacity to irrigate around 45,000 hectares. There are other things.
So there one more thing.
Yeah.
Does India right now has the capacity to hold water, sir?
Not exactly. The problem is you just cannot focus only on holding the water. That's
Okay.
what I am telling. there is a sharing agreement, and if within our treaty, within our without our within the existing infrastructure, if we go on existing, we are go on asserting our right, this is substantially going to hurt Pakistan. Infrastructure will come later. Infrastructure doesn't come in one day, but we are ready for it. We have faith on our engineers. We have one of the best engineers in the world as far as water resources are concerned. We will come with that very shortly. And if you notice, we had already started working on that long time back, and number of projects are coming up which we had planned for
Okay.
since
So there,
signing
there
of
is
the.
one there is one more thing which a lot of people would like to know. Suppose we don't allow them now; they can't come if we don't give them water data, the volume of the water data. Can you tell this to our viewers? How does it affect Pakistan if we don't share? Suppose we are not stopping the water, but right now we don't give them
Right.
data.
That is a big thing for them, because what you are telling is they cannot plan, but it is beyond that. What is important for them is the flood data. The distance between our dam and our area and Pakistan's Marala project is very less, so it gives a lead time of only few hours. So normally under the treaty, we have to provide the information on extraordinary flows. If we stop that, then definitely they are not going to make preparation for flood protection, for flood mitigation measures. Pakistan is a unique kind of arrangement. They have population living right on the riverbed. So what is meaning, they are all illegal, but Pakistan government has provided facilities to them. So every year what they do is ki when we provide the data of flood, that flood is coming, they got it vacated. So this will stop. So their population will be at high risk, and they are going to pay price for this. So this is the cost of data that I am telling, apart from planning that you had already mentioned.
The cost of data, there is also another element. If you don't give them data, they can't plan. If they don't get water, the economy gets affected. But why is Pakistan so edgy that it sets anything to do with water in terms of restricting its flow? They would treat it an act of war. They have gone so far.
Yeah, they have told it earlier also. This narrative is floating on, and actually, to understand from their perspective, you must understand that their 80% of the water is through Indus only. So whatever we do on Indus, even if we make some 20% use of that, or we can just manipulate 20% of the water, they are going to be in huge trouble. Particularly, you look at it, their water availability, per capita availability is only 860, whereas the international standard says that below 1000 is scarce. So they are already in a scarce zone, and that problem is theirs. But ultimately, if we reduce further, there will be hue and cry in Pakistan, and they should understand that.
There will be hue and cry. So water, people say that the next wars will be on water, and India has taken a firm stand. Do you believe that the Indus Water Treaty should be renegotiated? A lot of people, before this Pahalgam terror attack, a lot of people were saying that it should be renegotiated. It should be framed in the modern context. Do you think that the terms of
Yes.
engagement, sir, should change? And why should they change, sir? And where should they change?
Yes. There actually, I don't feel that, but right, I firmly believe it, because 2 years back we had already served notice to Pakistan for renegotiation of the treaty, and that is under consideration. Obviously, they are not very happy in renegotiating, because treaty is heavily biased for them. So, but we had already served notice to them for renegotiation of treaty. And what we really want is, number one, we want this treaty cannot be remain chained to 1960. There are a number of developments that had taken place, and all those developments, all those technological advancements are not available to us, which is available to them, which is available to everywhere in the world. So we want this treaty to be renegotiated in the present context, as you have rightly said. Apart from that, if you see during this our neutral expert and COA fiasco, where we requested for neutral expert and Pakistan requested for court of arbitration, World Bank played the spoilsport. They actually messed up the entire thing. So what we are
Why do you say that,
interested,
sir? Why do you say that the World Bank messed up the entire thing?
yeah, they messed it for the entire thing, because they started both the process simultaneously. You cannot have two process to decide on a single thing. what will happen? We have already, I was in World Bank. I try to explain to them that what will happen if neutral expert decision gets contradictory to court of arbitration decision. But they said, no, no, this is not our right, and we will go ahead with that. So that's how they messed up. Now there are two process. One is court of arbitration, in which India is not party to it, and second is neutral expert, which we are taking participation. So what is going to happen if both the process gives the different outcomes? What will happen then? So what we want is there should not be any interference from a third party, and let it be very, very clearly bilateral. This is what we want.
So, if you don't mind telling us, what were the points of renegotiation in the proposal the department sent 2 years ago? I mean, so you have been the commissioner of Indus Water Treaty. Where was the difference, and what you wanted to get rectified?
Like I have already mentioned, the detailed report and detailed outcomes are not for public consumption, but broadly what
Broad
we want
outline,
is,
sir.
yeah, pardon.
A broad outline, sir, without giving the
Yeah, broad
details.
outline. That's what I'm telling. Our main concern is that the technical advancements which are available to everybody, including Pakistan, should be available to us, and for that matter, the relevant clauses should be reconsidered. Secondly, there are number of restrictions on the amount of area that we can irrigate. There is amount of storage that we can create. Those restrictions should be seen in light of the number of facts like growing population and growing demands, and all those things are there. And thirdly, as I said, we want the third party intervention to be out of this treaty.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Pradeep Kumar Saxena, advisor, Jal Shakti Ministry, former Indian Commissioner for Indus Water Treaty.